know more about her and also let you guys know how girl in her 20s sees the world
in Montreal.
in Montreal and their life. A little sense of kindness. I'm saying that, and
I'll hug you afterwards.
yeah, of course. Yeah. So it's okay. I love it. So that's what I was saying, that they will still like have a sneak peek into your life.
Oh, Montreal.
Yeah, in Montreal and okay. Yes, turn around. Yeah. So hello everyone. This is Leah, my friend, and I know her from work, and now she works elsewhere. But I wanted to connect with her after like she left, and also like I just wanted to know more about her because I didn't get chance to know a lot about her because I was also like new in this city, but she has shown me a lot of kindness when I joined the company, and I really appreciate her help through that time, and I really like remember her being super helpful and kind to me, and that's why I was like, maybe I should do a video with Leah and know more about her. I know a lot of
Sorry, start?
yeah, no, it's okay.
You sure?
Yeah, it's okay. So sorry, there was a
There's a big truck.
so we had to pause, but yeah, so I wanted to do this video with her, and unlike me so I really hope you like this video and share this video as much as you can,
And subscribe.
and subscribe to my channel because you get to meet more people like her in
And you
future.
get to see Pravina's beautiful development and growth.
Yes. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Leah, for joining me here. So, Leah, do you want to tell us about today? How are you feeling today?
Okay, well, I'm doing good. I didn't expect to hear so much positivity or compliments about myself because, like Pravina said, we hadn't worked together a lot, so I didn't know I impacted you in such a way that you really wanted to meet me again. So
Yeah.
it really, honestly, it touches me a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, kindness goes a long way, Leah. You might not know when you do it, but it stays with people. So even though like how you treat people and how you conduct yourself, that can affect so many people in numerous ways, and I'm like example of it, that I was really touched by your kindness and help. Yeah, I'll let you continue. Sorry.
No, but then I'm doing a lot better after knowing this.
Yeah.
Because I had a good day. Like, it was very nice. I had things to do and I got them done. And then I came here to a squirrel.
Yes,
They're joining us a bit everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I came out here because it's such a beautiful day, and with September coming to an end, we're not gonna have a lot of these days left. So I'm glad you got me out of the house, and like you didn't start my day, but you made it even better.
Thank you, Leah, and you made my day better too. So thank you for this. And also, I just wanna say that Leah lives really far away from here, and she really said yes to come here. So I'm so glad. Moving on to our interview, I wanna ask Leah how was it to grow up here in Montreal, because it's such a nice, beautiful city, and I just want to know from someone who actually lived all her life here. So tell me about it.
Well, so I'm mainly from the suburbs of Montreal, so outside of Montreal is considered the greater Montreal area, and I'm from the North Shore. And compared to Montreal, there's a lot more trees, there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of nature. And when I came to Montreal, there was a lot of nature, but less than I was used to. So I always used to think like, oh, Montreal could be nicer, it could be greener. But then as I got out of the city more and went to other areas, I realized Montreal is very, very green.
Yes,
like it's not a concrete city. There's a lot of nature that's incorporated into it. And it's funny to say that that's what like marked me the most about like Montreal, just how natural it is, how you can be outside and enjoy nature, and I
Yeah.
feel like it brings a lot to morale. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed growing up here. I really enjoyed going outside, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
And there's no snow.
Yes, and also we don't talk about this enough, that how cities infrastructure and like how its architecture can shape your living here. I think that's a really great factor to include when you choose to live in a city, because this city is like surrounded by so many natural parks, rivers, so many
Mountains.
mountains inside the city, not even like you have to go.
There's the Belvedere. There's like you can 30 minutes and you can go to the bottom of a mountain and hike up. Like that's what I remember from my childhood. Like summer soccer games, hiking, going to lakes, just spending a lot of time outside with nature. And even in winter, like you don't stay inside. You go outside and you make snowmen, you make igloos, snowball fights, skiing for the more adult version.
And also Leah, like when it's such a huge city and like it's surrounded by like so many buildings and houses, but at the same time it's designed in such a way, or like being the architecture who has built the city, or like designed, or so many architectures who has done such a great job that like having to have parks everywhere, even like libraries or like coffee shops. The way it's like structured, it's such a nice, like I would say,
it's big but quaint.
That's a word.
That's
So
a word.
I have to so she has introduced me to two new words, like three new words until now, although I knew them, or maybe I didn't use them so often because she reads so much.
But you do too. Like your books are holding this up.
Yes, but and her book also. So I would just tell everyone that please be in this video for these many minutes and you'll get to learn so many new words. I am promising this with you.
Okay, now I have a high pedestal to live up to.
No. You are natural. So Leah, do you want to talk about your teen years? Like, what did you enjoy other than school? Like, what was your like I would say top moments in your teens?
So top moment. So what I'm really grateful for is that I got to go to high school with my younger sister. So she was 2 years younger than me. So as soon as I was in what you guys consider grade 9, around 15 years old, my sister was in grade 7. So 13 years old. I have to do the conversions because in Quebec it's a different system. So I'm thinking through these things. So one of the better parts of my high school years was being able to see her every day, being able to join clubs with her. She's a very active person, so we were able to join the running club together. We were able to work out together. But she's much more of an athlete than me, so it was a little hard keeping up. What I also liked about my high school years is that my high school had a lot of clubs. You could join like any kind of club that you could think of, you could join and be part of something.
And you don't have to be like super, you don't have to compete for it. You can just go there and give your name.
Yeah, pretty much. There's I think the only things that you had to compete for were like the drama club, because they were doing a play and obviously there were limited amount of spaces. But if you wanted to be in the drama club and for example help prepare the play, like stage hands, things like that, there's always a place for you. Like it was very accepting and inviting. There's even a book club, which is where I learned to enjoy reading.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were part of also big book club and running club.
Yeah, running club, book club. I liked working out, but what's funny about the book club is I started when I was in grade 7. But it's like my mind wasn't developed enough to be able to read these books and fully like imagine the scenario, enjoy the story. So I stopped the book club after grade 7, and then in grade 9 is when I was like, I started enjoying books again. I started wanting to read, and so I came back to the book club, and it had grown from this tiny 3 people book club to like now 10, 12 people from all different grades.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all different grades. It's not like people same age. There would be people different ages.
Different ages, For example, like I was in grade 9 and there were people from grade 7. I was in grade 12, 11, because we don't have grade 12 here.
Yeah.
But I was in grade 11 and you had people from grade 8, grade 7. And we'd all read the same book, and what was nice is that we could all share like our different perspectives of the book. And
it would have been so nice. Yeah.
It was so nice, and it's like my favorite memories from high school. Just laughing, talking about books. It's something I miss a lot that I really do want to recreate.
You know, Leah, we don't talk enough about these little I think things that actually we get to experience in our like teens, that shape so much of us in later part of life. So I'm really glad that you shared about this, and I was, when I got to talk to her about like books and everything, because I've seen her talking about some book that she was reading, and I was like, maybe there are some people who still read fiction and other kind of stuff, because I know I don't meet a lot of people like you who read books as much as you read. So I was really really inspired by that. So and I'm so glad that I got to know that you had experience back in your like teens to read books, and that actually kept you going. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like the things that you start in high school are things that you kind of find yourself in high school. So you kind of figure out the things that you prefer, the things you enjoy, and they help you keep going throughout your adult life. For example, I don't think I would enjoy working out as much or enjoy reading as much if I hadn't started my teens.
Yeah.
I feel like
I would say. And what are the other things that you have like included in your life that you didn't do back in your teens?
Good
like
question. Well, driving.
Driving. Yes.
Driving.
Yeah.
I think I'm more adventurous. I put myself more in uncomfortable situations than I did back in high school. I think high school I wanted to be more comfortable. I wanted to just find my comfort zone and not step out too much of it. And as you get older, you realize that these uncomfortable moments are what pushes you to the greatest changes. For example, I was scared to get out of university and go get a job pending a master's degree. I was scared to go back to school. I was scared to go on vacation, and like I've been on vacations alone and to different countries, and I think it's led to the biggest amount of personal growth than anything else I could have ever done. I'm so glad you said that, because no, not that, like, you know, I don't think as like I put myself also in uncomfortable situation, and you know, a lot of things I've been pushed by people, you know, you did by yourself, you know, but for me, I was so scared to go live in a hostel, because for my undergrad I went to live away from my family to live in a hostel and like in a university. So for me it was like, I don't want to go, although it was such a nice opportunity. I was like crying. You're scared, you're terrified. It's new, it's uncomfortable. And now look at you.
And you know, everything that I learned from people living in the hostel, and like those people actually encouraged me to be who I am today, because they were like, oh my god, you did this. They would like applaud you for nothing. You know, that's what you get when you live with girls, and like they want to support you.
Living with the girls, it's not the same as living with guys.
Exactly. They wanna just like uplift your mood in any ways.
They hype you up. They're just like, you go girl.
Exactly. Those kind of things.
Girls.
So I would totally relate to that, and I was so scared to come to Canada first time, because I'm the first person in my family to go abroad and like just live by yourself. Because we have everything back in India, like education or anything, but it just was something that I thought maybe I want to do it, the gut microbiota, maybe I want to have this degree. And then in the last minute I changed my decision to stay back in India. I was like, okay, maybe I would do some other thing. And my brother was like, I got my offer letter, everything, but then I was like, maybe I just don't want to go, I would prepare for something else. And my brother was like, he actually persuaded me. He actually discussed with me this like over 3-4 days to make me do this decision. Although It wasn't his decision, it was my decision to come here, but he definitely supported me, encouraged me that it's a once in lifetime opportunity. You should go for it. You should explore what you can do, and meet new people and see the world from very different lenses, I think.
It helps you grow and helps you see the world. And
Yeah.
I feel like perspective changes once you live somewhere else, once you experience.
Yeah, I see world in a very different light now, and I get to see people. I would have never met Leah if I've never moved out of my comfort zone. Definitely, I'm just enjoying it that I can get to meet people like her, and just share their learning with me and learn from them. So it's really nice to go out of your comfort zone. So
It's like a parallel universe.
Yeah.
In another universe, you wouldn't have lived this because you took a different decision.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad that I made good decision. So Leah, when did you start to look for a career, and not and to think of a career? Like in what grade or what stage of your life did you start having okay, I have to be prepared and prepare for my future career?
So I'd say I was kind of always thinking towards the future, always thinking towards what I wanted to do when I grow up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I remember in grade 2 when I was 7 years old, thinking of oh, well, I could become a doctor, I could do this. Because it's a funny story about my parents said, oh, you should become an ORL, an ears, nose, and throat doctor.
Wow.
Because my mom was a nurse, and I really liked these systems, the ears, the nose, the throat. And so they kept saying, oh, you should be a doctor in that. And then I would be like, okay, at 7 years old, I was thinking, okay, I have to go to university, I have to do this degree, it's going to take this amount of time, I have to do these kinds of things. So it started pretty young, but I didn't start actually working towards my career until maybe grade 7, because in grade 7 that's when people told me that's when things start to matter, that's when your grades start to matter. So in grade 7, that's where I started going into we call them enriched classes, where it's just a higher level for your grade for the
Enriched classes.
So instead of the basic math and science, you go to an enriched class, so you learn a bit more and you do a bit better. Not you don't do a bit better, but you learn a bit more intensive material.
Okay.
So I had enriched English and math and sciences in grade 7, and it created a lot of stress because you're stressing from the time that you're 13 years old about, if I don't get a good grade on this exam, my career is gonna fail. So it starts
it's
young,
scary,
and it's funny to think back how it didn't really matter until I got to my last few years. Grade 9 is when you have to be in certain enriched classes, but universities, CEGEPs for when I'm from, start looking at your grades. They'll look at your last year.
Okay.
So it's funny how all that stress culminated to too much. It shouldn't have been as high as it should have been.
Yeah, I think for me, I would say it started in although the pressure of doing great in classes was from the beginning,
In high school.
not high school, from
Middle school?
middle
For you it's middle school.
Yeah, so it's you have to prepare and you have to be super good in math, science, and maths, chemistry, physics, and biology. You have to be super good in those kind of subjects, and then after grade 9 you have to just be doing nothing, just studying 16 hours a day. So that kind of practice. And I think it's just, I didn't think of a career the way you were okay, you have to be good, you have to have good grades, that's all you had, but you didn't think of a career that you want to be engineer or you want to be a doctor. Did you envision any of it when you were in 9th or in your high school?
Well, I have to say that in middle school and in high school, you don't really know the careers that are out there in the health department. I knew nurses, I knew pharmacists, and I knew doctors, and I knew that I didn't want to be a pharmacist because it didn't interest me as much. There was less upfront helping of the patients as if you were a doctor. And I didn't want to be a nurse because my mom was a nurse, and she, although it's a good career, she highly discouraged me from going into that field because it is a difficult job. Like you're working a lot of overtime and you're not appreciated as much as doctors in many ways in terms of patient patient interactions, in terms of pay, in terms of how the management is sometimes. So in my mind it was like your career is like you have to study well, become a doctor, because that's all that is out there, which didn't happen. You kind of figure out in high school, in SAGEP, in university, all the other careers that are out there and what you really want, because I think what I didn't consider is how much time you have to put into becoming a doctor. You know, it's an undergrad, then it's med school, then it's years of residency, and it's not something I wanted for myself. I didn't want to spend that many more years in school because school had become a stressor also. I'm just shiny. Career wise, it's funny how you get into SAGEP, you get into university, you see careers that are available, and you kind of figure out what you prefer for yourself and what field you find yourself into. I didn't think I'd find myself in the field that I am. Honestly, I think my other choice, a good choice, if I could choose anything else, would have been like dietetics or like physiotherapy or nutrition. But But the thing about that is, it's not a very big program. Not people know a lot about it, and the influence I had from my circle was kind of telling me like, for you, this isn't the best option. Like you should go for something that's more
journalistic and like.
No, they thought they didn't know much about it, so they thought it would be low paying, and they thought that I should do something that was higher paying or that was more, I guess,
more used in current scenarios, I think. And
I feel like dietetics and nutrition is used. It's a different field. It's something that people see less.
It's a niche actually, and it might restrict you. So that's why maybe people who were like close to you, they said on that perspective that right now, like whatever you are doing, it's very, like you can do job in any company. I think it's more like a popular career. I think the things you have like approached, like biotechnology and maybe like health sciences or whatever you are doing, regulatory affairs, those kind of things would be in like prime demand, I think. And I really want to talk about what was your like thought process when you think of doing a master's after like you had your first job.
So I went to work with, can we say the company name? Or do we?
It's okay. We can say.
I won't say it just in case. We loved working there. It was a great experience. It really taught us a lot. But I always knew I wanted to go back to school to do a master's because I had just gotten my bachelor's, and I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do a research-based master's because we were in the sciences, so that's what's available to us. So I wanted to go work in a laboratory just to see what it would be like on a day-to-day to do like research, to do science, and I didn't like it that much. I felt very in my corner. I felt very like, okay, I'm doing this repetitive action, and I didn't feel much joy from it, and that's what would have been a research-based master's.
So then you thought of like a new program, and how did you find the program that you are in right now?
So the program that I found, it's so in Montreal, it's a pretty well-known program. So a graduate student, when I was back in my bachelor years, had told me about it. She was like, oh, why don't you do this program if you want to be more in industry? You know, like it's straight to industry. It helps you get an internship at a really good company. And when I was at our company that we used to work at, well, I used to work at, that used to work at, there were other students, well, other colleagues who also knew about this program, and they were telling me about how it's a great opportunity to go into industry, how you're really like catapulting your career into action.
Yes, that's a new word for me.
So you want to use it?
I don't use it as often. Can you say that word again? I also want to ask you what's the meaning of it.
Catapulting?
Yeah.
Well, so a catapult, it's this confection. It's this giant thing.
Uh-huh. Okay, you can say thing. It's okay.
No, but it's this big mechanism where it kind of looks like this, has a spoon shaped divot, and you would place a rock, you would place something heavy, and it's a catapult. So you would throw it into the air, and usually it was used in war to launch things towards.
Okay, so it means it's advancing your career, or like really having a speed up growth.
Yeah, I told you what catapult is without saying catapulting. I should
no
given it more care.
No, I really want to know new words.
More textbook definition than just it's this thing that throws stuff.
But it also helps me. So moving on to the next question. Like as we were talking before, like Leah loves reading books, and my question was like, do you read books? So I would skip that question.
It's like the interview. Do you wear wigs? No. When will you wear wigs? When have you worn wigs?
So I'm not asking that question. I would rather ask, what are your top reads until now?
Okay, so I have a few because I've thought about it. All-time favorite is Shadow of the Wind. It's by this Spanish author, and it's a mystery. Where it's about this child who you see grow up into his teen years, lose his mother, and his father works at a library, and he finds a book called Shadow of the Wind, and he tries to find out about this author, find new books, but there's nothing that he can find out about this author. So he goes on into this huge mystery to figure out like what happened to this author, what happened to his story. And I like the way that I won't spoil it, but I just like the way that it plays out. It's very well written. Yeah. And it's like, if you like mystery, it's a good book.
Yeah. And also you told me second book that you loved
for mystery.
Yeah.
So it's And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. So it's a pretty popular book.
Yeah. She's really famous.
Yeah, she's really famous. Yeah. But a lot of pop culture is based off of that book. Like if you've seen Family Guy, they have episodes where they recreate that book in a Family Guy style of book.
Wow.
And it kind of messes with you because at that time they hadn't had books that were written in that way for mysteries. So it really changed the scenario, and really it's just such an interesting book. Like I haven't read anything similar since then.
Yeah, wow. Like some books are really transformational. I would like to mention the book was really transformational for me was Atlasshrugged by Ayn Rand. Okay. Have you heard of her? Okay, so you must, although those are not mystery, they are revolutionizing kind of books. So I don't know how many books she has written. She's like European American writer, and she writes about those like path breaking like things in the world, like that shape the civilization kind of thing. So she wrote Atlas Shrugged, and Atlas Shrugged had a little bit in it that pointed out something like that COVID times. So it was written in like maybe 1960s, but still it was like similar to what happened to her like COVID times. And also her book by Fountainhead. So the way you were talking about Agatha Christie's Then There Were No One,
and Then There Were None. Yeah, they have different titles, but we're not going to mention them here.
Yeah, but this thing like by Ayn Rand is like Fountainhead by Ayn Rand is like such a transformational book. Do you want to talk about other books that were your top reads?
Well, if you like that kind of book, another kind of book that I think is like one of the best reads, that if you have time to read it because it's just so well written. Yeah. It's a book called Pachinko. Pachinko. Okay. So pachinko it's a Japanese word. It's kind of like for their slot machines. They're gambling. But this follows a Korean family from the early 1900s all the way through the 1980s, and you see their struggle through colonization from the Japanese, Second World War, moving to Japan, and the oppression that they felt. And it's not based on a true story, but it's kind of culminating all the experience of the Korean people during those times. Yeah. And it's written in a really beautiful way, but also a very realistic way, which does make it a little bit sad in my opinion. And
Yeah.
they made a K-drama about it.
Really?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Oh,
But
wow.
I prefer the
Pachinko.
book. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pachinko.
Okay, I would look into it.
It's a pretty thick book though.
Yeah, and even both Ayn Rand's book are so
Big.
thick that you can't even carry them. They are like, and
an
whenever you
encyclopedia.
suggest, and whenever I suggest anybody, they're like, oh, they're lost. They're lost in like, it's like 1,000 some pages
Oh
long.
my. Okay, no, Pachinko's not that. But you need a lot of pages to properly describe the experience of so many
Yeah,
and do it justice. Because I think
it's not fiction. It's fiction, but also very realistic.
experience of
fiction.
other millions of people.
Yeah, wow, millions of people.
I mean, yeah,
But it
no?
it is.
Wait, your story or my story?
No, your story.
Oh my. Well, it's the Korean experience from
Okay.
those times, so I'm guessing it is
It's
around
like-
a million, a decent amount of people.
No,
I don't know the exact numbers.
no. I really wanted to know how would someone write on like those many people. But you know, sir, when fiction happens, it happens with certain characters. So like I was thinking around those lines, like how would a
Yeah.
writer like think about so many stories?
Well, it's one story. It's just you're following generations, and
oh wow,
you're kind of following the general experience that people had in these times. For example, the book does talk about it not in detail, but it talks about the subject of comfort women.
Mhm. Mhm.
I want to explain it here because it's
It's a little-
it's pretty
Shade.
dark, but it's
Okay.
it's
It's
important to talk about it because it talked about their experience,
Mhm.
the experience of these people during these times.
Yeah, of course. And what is the other books of Agatha Christie that you were reading right now?
You see it right here.
Yeah,
Right now I'm reading
a French book.
Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I'm reading it in French because I got it at a thrift store.
Wow.
And I just saw the title and I was like, I want to read this book. It's from Agatha Christie.
Mhm. Yes, and Leah, do you want to tell me how many languages do you speak?
Oh, I only speak two.
Wow.
I know a bit of Korean. Yeah. And
Bit or like are you learning?
I learned back when I was in university, but I haven't. It's been a few years,
Mhm.
so I've lost a lot of it. But I think I got pretty good to a beginner level.
Wow.
But I haven't had to use it, or I haven't wanted to keep using it, so I've lost a lot of it.
It's
But-
okay. Yeah, but you learned it, right?
I learned it a
yeah,
little bit.
Wow.
But it's in my plans to learn a few more languages. Just if you
Yeah.
want to visit other countries, if you want to have that same experience and connect with people,
Yeah, you need to learn.
language, but
Yeah,
food
it's hard.
too.
Yeah, but you know, for me, French is such a difficult language is because of the accents and like the way they are spoken, and you have to twist the tongue. So I'm
Yeah.
scared. You know, people have just scared me off only, like because
Really?
no, because they're like you have to like make faces, not make because the way we speak, it's like this.
No, but you're right because when I switch to French,
Mhm.
my tongue gets tired because it's different muscles that you're using. Really.
Exactly, that's what I was talking about.
But you don't have to be scared because if you're learning the language, people will just be so happy that you're learning that they're
Yeah.
gonna encourage you and
Yeah.
they'll try to understand you. Oh, that was
Yeah.
my experience learning other languages.
Yeah, I would say so because I try to learn some few phrases and they feel like, oh, I spoke something, and it's really good in here. It's like nobody judges you to speak bad French.
No, well, it's Montreal. If you go outside, then they might be like,
Little.
well, they'll be happy that you're learning.
Yeah. So I wanna ask you on the same ground, what kind of books are you reading this year? Like, do you have in a mind that like these many books you want to read or this
So
kind
many.
of yeah? How many?
I have a list of 30 books that I want to read. I've read 5 or 6. I'm like falling. I've read
Yeah.
5 or 6 already.
Coming up.
I've read 5 or 6, and they're very much books about either self-development or books that make you think. For example, there's The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. We didn't read this in my high school, but I know a lot of high schools read it. Right now I'm reading Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie, and I'm also reading A Gentle Reminder.
Wow.
Uh,
It's a non-fiction?
So A Gentle Reminder is kind of a book where you read it and it's like it says, it's a gentle reminder to be kind to yourself. So it'll be parts where it's like it's okay to let people go who don't want to be in your life. It's okay that you're working towards things. It's just something to be kind to yourself when
interesting.
in a world where it's just you have to keep going, you have to be the best, you have to achieve. It's like calm down, take your time, be happy,
and just enjoy what you have. So good. And also, like, have you read other than like murder mystery books, like fiction? What kind of fiction have you read?
So I've read fantasy, I've read magical realism, I haven't really read sci-fi. I'm not really into sci-fi, which is a shame because they're really good books.
I have also not read sci-fi. Fantasies, yes. Christmas books, all Christmas books I've read. Feel good, of course, like rom-com kind of thing.
But I haven't read sci-fi, which is sad because there's Dune, which is a really good sci-fi book. But I haven't.
It's a sci-fi.
It is sci-fi.
Everybody was talking about the whole like movie and like everything. I didn't know it's a sci-fi.
It's sci-fi because I didn't read the book, but one of my friends read the book, and he told me that it's sci-fi because everything that happens, even though it seems kind of like magic, there's a very scientific explanation as to why these things are able to happen.
Wow.
So I consider it is sci-fi. It's not fantasy.
Okay. But it looked very like magical and like some very like set in different times.
Yeah, I think it's set really in the future.
It's in the future.
Or parallel
universe, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But it's very sci-fi.
Okay. So I would like to talk to you about like how do you take care of yourself and like talk about your diet, like how do you maintain diet and like meal prep? What do you do for your like self-care?
Self-care, yes. Self-care.
It's very important. Yeah, because she's in healthcare.
No, we're in health sciences.
Yeah, health sciences.
Because when you say healthcare, what I think is really like hospital setting, and I wouldn't work in a hospital.
Yeah,
it's not.
Health
not where my
sciences,
degree takes me.
Yeah,
but self-care is so funny because it's like there's physical self-care, there's emotional self-care, there's psychological self-care, social, everything.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's such a big
topic.
Yeah, big scope. But I think we're talking more about physical health, eating.
Yeah. And also we can talk a little bit mental health care.
Yeah. I really like balance. Right now I'm doing more of a protein-based diet, but I do try to incorporate as many fruits, vegetables, legumes as I can. I didn't tell you this, but I used to be vegetarian back in my teen years. So from like 13 years old to around when COVID hit.
By yourself or like
by myself?
Wow, seriously. How did you think of it?
I liked it because I was proud of what I was achieving because my family was cooking, like my mom was cooking. She tried to cook for me, but it was becoming pretty difficult. So she would mainly cook for the rest of the family and I would try to cook more on my own.
Wow.
So it was kind of an achievement in itself because I was like learning to cook and I was proud of myself because I was cooking like amazing meals that were also vegan/vegetarian.
Wow. Yeah. How did you why did you think of just going vegetarian? You didn't like to eat anything?
I liked eating meat, but the thing is, I thought health-wise it would be a better option if I went vegetarian.
Wow. Even at 13 years old.
I was a little chubby, and I thought like the best way to be vegetarian, to be healthy, would be to be vegetarian because you're incorporating so many vegetables, so many legumes into your diet. And although I'm not vegetarian anymore, for other reasons,
of course, I would say if I can eat more protein in other diet, I would go for it. But because I've just built a very vegetarian diet all my life, I don't want to switch to have surprises. But I eat eggs. I started eating eggs when I came to Canada. So.
we influenced her. We're not.
No, not even that. No, the cold.
Oh, the cold.
Because egg kind of help you have a lot of energy.
Oh.
And if you eat just rice and dal and legumes, it really doesn't help to have the energy. Seriously, it was for the survival really contest. I was like, okay, egg is, and it doesn't give me any taste, so I love it. I
Okay.
still, yeah, I should not say I'm vegetarian anymore, but it's
You
yeah,
are, because
yeah.
you're not killing animals for it.
No, not even that. Like if you hear people say you are in India, we say vegetarian.
Really?
If you eat egg but not meat, then you are vegetarian.
No,
They have
you're-
made their own Tarian, I think. So, and then when did you start eating meat again?
I started when COVID hit.
Hmm.
It was really a dark time for everyone.
Yeah.
And in my head, it didn't make sense to, because it had kind of switched from like not only for my health but kind of like for animal well being. Like why, there's no
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
But with COVID hitting, it was like it seemed like such a small issue with tons of people suffering and
yeah, something
passing away.
happening. Yeah, and it was like maybe very like traumatic time for so many.
Yeah.
And I don't know how was it. We just forgot about it totally. Like seriously.
I mean,
It was
there's still efforts for COVID vaccines, but
yeah.
it's funny how it was a few years back and now it's like
Nobody like
No.
just don't talk about it anymore. But it
Well-
was such a dark time. Everybody was masked and like nobody was going
Well,
outside.
people still wear masks when they're sick nowadays. So
Mhm.
I don't think we completely forgot about it. It's just we've incorporated some aspects of it into our daily lives.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think we are like more cautious about that. These kind of thing can happen in future.
Yeah.
Also, like if we
It makes me more health conscious because it's like, oh, I'm sick, I'll take care of everyone, or oh, I have something, I'll go see my doctor.
yeah,
It's like
yeah, something like that. Yeah, I would say that. So yeah,
all that to say,
Yeah.
I used to be vegetarian. It makes me more health conscious because I think of all the vegetables I should include the legumes.
Mhm.
And we exercise because it's healthy for you, but
Yeah.
we're doing low impact things because
Yeah.
we are getting old.
yeah, and or not older. I think high impact thing you can do if your body allows it. I think you
Yeah.
have to just be in sync with your body. I think. Don't you think? Like if you can still run, you should run. I think.
But you should listen to your body.
Yeah, listen
That's
to your
it.
body. Yeah, that's the main thing. If you kind of feel not okay in something,
If you feel pain, you should
Yeah.
stop.
yeah, exactly. It's not like working. What sort of thing did you get out of not just like physical aspect? What keep you inspired about working out? What is it?
So it's kind of like how it started in my teens.
Mm.
It kind of became a part of who I was. I loved working out. It was part of my daily life. I wasn't complete without workouts, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
And even she used to come to work. She would do like maybe workout in the morning and
Yeah,
come.
yeah, I
And
did.
She was so regular, and I'm so inspired. I've not seen anybody so regular about it. Like, not I've seen people regular about it, but not like very punctual. You're so punctual, and how does it like? Where do you get it from? Like being so punctual, disciplined.
Punctual? I don't know. It's something I like doing. It feels good. It feels like me, and I'm a very routine person. So when I incorporate routine and accomplish all my little things,
Mhm.
it also gives you your little shot of dopamine because you accomplish task after task.
Yeah.
So that's what helps me.
Yeah, wow. It's a nice thing that you just follow the routine and you plan your day ahead and you kind of very routine person. Do you journal?
I do. I used to do it a lot more, but with all the changes that were happening and having to find a new routine because I started a new position,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot to adjust. So I'm slowly getting back into it, trying to be more consistent. But every
Wow.
2 to 3 days so far, I'm journaling. I need to get down to once a day now.
Yeah, but it's nice that sometimes I don't journal for like months and sometimes I journal like once in a week. Those kind of thing. I have been like a journaling person since I know myself, maybe 7th, 8th standard. So like when I get to know like okay, we can write things whatever in our head, and I write on like Word documents and like everything. I'm writing all that in my notes phone. So when I'm like on the metro, I would write something down.
Yeah, instead of like taking out your huge
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
setting it up, and for
Yeah.
everyone else to see also.
Yeah, but it's like I'm writing my thoughts here and there, and even if like for these interviews also, like it's such a nice practice for me to like approach people, write to them, like okay, ask them, okay, how do you want to do this, something like that. So I'm always thinking what do I want to do, and I'm writing along those lines. So I'm not doing journaling as much. But I think journaling kind of makes you fall in a routine and also
Routine, but I feel like it just brings you more peace because you can
Yeah.
write out your day, you can talk about what bothered you, but you can also take this time to be like, oh, what are 10 things I'm grateful for? What made me smile today? Journal prompts,
Yeah.
they might seem silly, but
Yeah.
they have so much more of an impact once you start doing it.
Yeah, and I think your personality, you have such a wholesome personality, like
I'm just getting complimented.
no, just not that much, you're such a inspiring person, although you don't know about it,
Yeah, no, I
no, I'm telling you, you have such a great routine. You journal, you read books, you have a vision for your career, those kind of things, and that doesn't happen in a day, and it's like a practice, and that you do every day, you kind of make plan, you accomplish things, and that kind of thing, and it's a personality, it's in your personality, and you'll do
But
yeah.
it's not just personality. I feel like if we say personality, it feels like, oh, well, that's who she is. I can't become that.
Yeah.
And I feel there are always things you can work towards.
Yeah,
You can
exactly.
become more routine. You can accomplish all these things that you want to accomplish.
Yeah, I would say that
Yeah.
she has incorporated those things in her life, not personality,
Yeah.
but incorporating those things, and everybody can learn from that. I also try to learn from as many people as I can, and little things here and there. But do you want to talk about your diet right now? How do you take care of your food and diet in busy schedule?
In the busy city, so I do this thing where I meal prep because if I don't meal prep, I won't have food for the week, and you'll tend to eat what's leftovers, freezer meals, little box of crab dinner.
Yeah.
So I go grocery shopping every 2 weeks, and I'll do my list based off of
Every 2 weeks,
every
not
2
every
weeks.
week.
No, because it takes too much time out of my week. I work 2 jobs, so the weekend I also work.
Wow.
So if I go every week, it just takes more time, like an extra 2 hours out of my week, which I would prefer putting into, this little moments, things that make you happy.
Yeah.
So-
Nice.
So that's why I do meal prep, because you can buy your vegetables. Certain vegetables can freeze really well. Some vegetables don't freeze as well. So you kind of learn how to deal with them.
Yeah, you
But-
learn from videos and how to preserve those things. kind of
Videos,
thing.
Pinterest.
Yeah.
Or just a quick Google search, can I preserve green beans? And they'll tell you, oh, the best way to preserve green beans is blanching them and then freezing them.
Okay, and then whenever you need to so for maybe just for talk about today. So for morning, what did you have?
So this morning I had meal prepped some blueberry muffins. Don't judge me because I love blueberry muffins.
Wow, you meal prepped it.
Yeah, I made blueberry muffins, and you can freeze them really easily.
Wow.
If ever, I don't know who's watching this, but if you have Costco in your area, you can buy the big box of muffins as well. Cut them in half and freeze them. They freeze really well. And if you're someone who likes little pastries in the morning, quick on the go, take that.
Yeah.
But it's not every morning.
But yeah, then you have sugar rush in the morning.
But usually it'll be eggs and cottage cheese or eggs and yogurt. So I'll scramble them together and then cook them up. I'm
Wow.
because it adds your protein, but it also tastes
Fill.
nice than if
Yeah.
you're just eating cottage cheese out of the bowl.
Yeah. So you eat protein in the morning, basically.
Yeah,
protein rich.
I heard it's good to have a good amount of protein in the morning.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I
It
try my best.
doesn't give you glucose spike. So one of the best health hack is not giving your body too much sugar or sugar spike any time of the day. If you want to be a really healthy person, just taking care of one thing make you much more healthier than so many people is not eating too much sugar plus
Added
not
sugar.
giving
So
Yeah.
your apple's okay.
yeah
Okay, good.
you love sugar.
I like my fruit.
Yeah, of
I
course,
love-
sugar, sugar spike, and eating in a different order also. You eat protein in a day because you're not spiking your body with glucose in the morning. So, glucose spike, I'm using this term as in a way that leads to, over the years, leads to diabetes, glucose spike.
Yeah.
It's not the sugar, it's the
the
glucose spike.
spikes. Oh.
It's if you eat that's why it's the meals are designed in a such way that we eat our meal and then we eat a dessert. We don't eat a dessert, then eat a
I didn't do this well this morning.
So what did you do? So you ate your muffin.
I ate my muffin
It's okay. Once in a while.
once in a while.
Yeah. And what did you have after that? Did you have coffee? Do you drink coffee or tea?
I used to drink only tea,
Mhm.
but
No.
with things becoming more demanding, coffee
Yeah.
has become a daily part of your life.
Yeah.
I like taking it black,
Mhm.
but from time to time I'll add sugar or I'll add cream.
Yeah. It's good.
I just felt that with my sugary muffin, I didn't want to have a sugary coffee as well.
So you had a black coffee.
I had a black coffee.
Wow. So although like everybody talks about this coffee thing that coffee is not that great. So you said okay, you used to have tea, but now you're having coffee because like things are demanding. But I want to know from your like knowledge, what do you think about like having coffee
Versus
like every
tea?
day? What is the difference, and why would you not have coffee?
So
Yeah,
it's funny because we're talking about this as if we're experts. We're
no,
scientists
not
in this
expert.
domain.
No. I'm just like, what do you think?
What do I
What
think?
normal people think about it? That's what
Okay.
I want to know.
Well, I have the experience of
Mm.
drinking tea versus drinking coffee, and I find that when I drink only tea,
Mm.
I have consistent energy levels throughout the day. When I drink coffee, I do have
Mhm.
a dip in my energy levels, so I
Mm.
have to take 1 to 2 coffees a day to keep me throughout my workday.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I kind of wish I could only stick to tea, but now coffee has become kind of
Mhm.
it's becoming hard to get out of your routine because
Yeah.
it just feels nice to have coffee when you're working. It's kind of like
Yeah.
drinking it.
Yeah, and it's like a mental satisfaction plus it coffee, I would say that like it's not super bad for your health, but in moderation.
Moderation.
Coffee also like having a cream so that it doesn't go into your blood sugar caffeine just right away, so it gets little time for like, because fat is resisting the absorption right in the blood stream. So that's what I understand. Like I'm not like a scientist on that, but I'm just saying
We're just
what
two
I
girls.
understand about it, and like what I've learned from like my neuroscience classes. Like whenever anything goes directly to your like blood in like veins and to the brain, so caffeine just like whip up your like brain kind of like oh, wake up, do this thing, and because it's like it gives the brain signal, oh, you have to work fast. That's why you drain out of energy.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's not super I would say bad or good or anything. It's just a good drink to like enjoy once in a once a day, not 2-3 coffee, I would say. But do you drink 2 coffee?
Yeah, because we have a barista at work, so we just,
Yeah.
it's easy. It's like, hey, you want to get coffee? Yeah.
But do you get any problem in sleeping? That's what I want to talk about.
No, because I do a lot of things in my day, so I will go to work. I will work, but usually after work, what I like at where I'm at, they have a gym and they have classes that you can take after work, during work, anytime during the day.
Wow.
Which I don't do it just because, oh yeah, exercise, good for you, but also I'm trying to avoid traffic.
Yeah.
So I'll go, for example, on Thursdays we have a spin class. On Wednesdays we have a strength class. So I'll do those and they'll
It's
tire
a
me
free
out.
training or
Free class.
Yeah, good. Great. Nice.
Yeah. So because I have a busy day and because I work out, it doesn't affect me that much. And I also don't take coffee after around 1. So it
Okay.
has time to leave
Yeah,
my
so
system.
noting this point is like really important. Like a lot of people, they can sleep after drinking coffee, and some people have to like really just put a time limit on it. So it depends person to person also, like how, because one of our friend, he just drinks coffee and he can sleep after that. So
He drinks a lot of coffee all the time. But
yeah, I think so, probably. But for me, I'm like, okay, I'm similar to you. Like 2-3 p.m. is like good time to have our last caffeinated drink, I think. Then like avoiding caffeine
completely.
Yeah, completely.
It's the basics of pharmacology. Everything is a poison, so at the right dose. So it's
Wow.
always it's something
such a
you,
good line. Yeah.
it's something you hear a lot when you're in pharmacology.
Mhm.
So it's just the dose makes the poison. So everything is poisonous and everything can be healthy just at the right dose.
Yeah, and Leah knows a lot more things about health because I'm like just so impressed by that she thought about her health at like age of 13. I didn't even know what that means. Like seriously, I didn't even like whatever was at home. But yeah, I had this thing like being skinny was one of the thing I really like craved when I was like younger because that was the trend and you just cannot be
Yeah.
like
That was societal pressures,
Yeah.
peer pressures, especially when you're in high school.
yeah, and I think right now for me it's more important to be healthy than skinny, like just having good amount of weight, like not overweight but having good amount of weight, and also just good health, like you are working out, you are just like doing yoga or
think-
eating right things.
I think that's part of maturing, just also building that self confidence that you don't have to follow trends. You just have to be happy and comfortable with yourself and
Yeah.
do things for your own well being.
Yeah, and look in a certain way also, not like I would not say skinny is different thing, but looking just good, that also helps you to feel good. I think taking care of yourself, like that also part of our like self-care, I would think. And how do you take care of your mental health?
So journaling helps, talking to friends and family.
Mhm.
And this might be a bit controversial to certain people, to certain areas.
Mhm. What?
But
Talking to your family members?
no, I have a therapist that I go see.
Okay.
I don't see him all the time, but I find that it helps to just go see him once in a while, just to talk about life, to talk about what's going on. And I'm really lucky because I have some insurance that covers part of it. And I found,
Wow.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
But also I found one that meets like what I need. You know, whenever I go see him, I don't leave feeling angry or frustrated or like I'm doing wrong. Like I leave
Feeling good.
I leave feeling normal. I leave feeling like what I'm going through isn't like I'm not insane. I'm not wrong for feeling this way. I'm
Yeah.
just normal. I feel
Yeah.
at peace.
Yeah, and I really wanted to see the therapist like last month when there was like a lot of things happening at work, not like those, and also like thinking about my career and like where I want to live, like missing my family. I approached, like I went on the dialogue, but it didn't happen because like the waiting time and everything, they're like, okay, you have to and the timing didn't match. But for the first time in my life, I really wanted to like see someone, a real therapist, not just like my friends
friends.
or like my family, who can like give me some insights or perspective.
You wanted an unbiased view.
Yeah, and also like just because it's helpful and everybody is talking, like you talked about it, now everybody talks about it and like the benefits of it. And sometimes it's you are just struggling and you just wanna like avoid that struggle, and you wanna just see a regular like therapist or like a doctor. He's basically a doctor and you going for like something to have some
Here he is a doctor. He has to
Yeah.
have a PhD.
degree. Really,
I think so.
therapist needs to have a PhD.
From now on.
Wow.
I know mine has one.
Wow.
It wasn't like that back in the day, but now you really need to go to grad school in order to get to be a therapist.
Okay, that's good to know.
Well, to be
Because
a psychologue,
Yeah,
a psychologist.
yeah,
Sorry.
psycho. I didn't know for therapists what degrees are needed. I thought just like maybe psychology degree they need,
I
at
think
least
you
in
can also
bachelor's.
be
Yeah.
social service worker can give therapy.
Okay, really?
I'm not too sure about that, but I
Yeah.
know psychologists, to have that terminology, you need a higher level education than just
Yeah.
bachelor's.
But do you wanna talk anything like good pros and cons of like going to a therapist? Like, do you see any con? Like, I'm not talking you have to say some cons about it, but just talk about pros that like, okay, this thing I couldn't handle by myself, so I'm seeing a therapist, or like I wanna see once in a while when I need this thing. So what sort of like pros are there, and are there any cons of it?
So I think the cons come from more searching for a therapist, because it can take a really long time to find a therapist that's good for
Same
you.
for me happened.
Yeah, that finds that's good for your needs. I have some friends who they really want a therapist that is similar to them. So they want a woman, they want a Southeast Asian woman because that's who they are, and they think that no one else would be able to understand them and give them the same advice that they would need.
Yeah, exactly.
So finding the right one, and also there are wait lists. So when you do find the right one, it can take a lot of time to get in.
Okay.
Also
wait list. Okay.
The cost. So I'm fortunate because I do have insurance that pays for a portion of it, but it does get pricey. So if you don't have insurance, if you have to pay out of pocket each time, it does get a little expensive. So you have to
take care of these kind of.
I feel like if you make less money, it feels like it's not reachable for you.
Yeah, but if you have little bit of insurance, then because I had insurance from work little bit, so I was like, maybe I can use it and like see it, but because of the waiting time and like the getting to reach there and appointment, and there is like so much of like beforehand that I have to go through, I was like, I don't want to go like and then like I was recovered after that. I was like, okay, I understand. Like I want to have. We had such a long video. I think it was like totally I would say unscripted and unplanned. But I really wanna talk about one more thing. Is like how you see the world. Like now you were in your like maybe 20s. What are your dreams and how do you see your future and like present?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I know generally what I would like. I want a career. I want a family. I want to explore the world. I don't want to. I have a lot of goals to achieve to bring me to who I want to become in the future. So I kind of see the world as daunting, but also as an opportunity for everything, for growth, for learning, for experience, for also building empathy, learning from others. Like not just culture, but just meeting different people and making a change. Yeah,
and I think I see you as like really like that's hopeful and like optimistic and full of like life, and it's really nice to have people like you around, and doing best for yourself is also you are helping the society. Like, do you think that way?
Yeah. Only if you're if you have a positive outlook on others, because if you're trying to better yourself but you don't want to give back, or you don't want to help others around you,
it's like you always like show kindness because you're good to yourself and then you're good to others and you always doing here and there things, and I think that's how I think
everyone deserves a bit of kindness. I feel like everyone needs a little bit, and not everyone gets it.
That's the line we wanna end our video with. And thank you so much, Leah, for sharing your thoughts on different things with me in this video. And thank you so much everyone for watching, and send love to Leah and me and Peach. Please subscribe to my channel and watch this video.
Like and subscribe, all of that. Share with friends.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And write your feedback.